Hi, friends. Welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name is JP, and this is Junodrome Tarot. So today we're going to be doing a pick a card on career messages. What do you need to know for your career, your job, your business, your creative ventures, as relation to financial? Take it as it resonates. Go into it with an open mind. In a moment, I'm going to show you the piles for you to choose from. There are 4 different piles for you to choose today. And so when you see the piles, just choose the one that is jumping out at you at the most, and that will be your reading. Down below in the description section of this video, I will highlight the different piles for you to choose for your reading. And you can just click on the pile, and that will be your reading. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you there. Bye. Hi, friends. Welcome to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name is JP, and this is Junodrome Tarot. So today we're going to be doing messages for your career. So finding some strong career messages. Oh man, it's funny. This is very timely because I'm just looking at this clover, and we're about at St. Patrick's Day. So when I'm recording, hopefully when I'm uploading as well. This is a timeless reading. If you're not getting it when I'm uploading, that's fine. You chose the card with the mushroom, and we've got a little bit of a butterfly here too. So we've definitely got some spirit guides in the room with us today to try to give you some advice for your career. So what does the back of this card says? It says, we can never have enough of nature. Henry David Thoreau. So I don't know if you're... It doesn't have to be. Obviously, this is a general reading, but some of you watching this might be interested in working outdoors or some kind of plants or outdoor nature sort of a career, but it doesn't have to be. For a lot of you as well, this could be talking about how if you are feeling any kind of if you're feeling a little bit lost right now in a career direction moving forward, or just at your own job that you're in, or anything like that, if you're feeling any kind of difficulty in getting an understanding on what you want, going outside in some capacity, going out into nature, taking walks outdoors, having a meditative nature setting may actually provide a lot of useful information for you. So that's just an aside here. We're going to do these oracle cards first here. Here's another one. Mandrake Spirit. Keep yourself rooted in the earth. Spring is coming. Dream deep. Yeah. For a lot of you, if you are like wondering what the perfect career for you might be, obviously take it as it resonates. But I think a lot of you might be pursuing a career in the outdoors, or that might be a really positive thing for you. I'm just looking over here at this obsidian I have, so I don't know if geology. This could be for a lot of people. Earth itself. Maybe you are into crystals. Maybe you're trying to be a rock hunter and sell rocks, or I don't know, it could be anything, but there's a lot of outdoors and plants and nature and all of this imagery on being outside. And with the mandrake, it said, keep yourself rooted in the earth. So there's a certain level of grounding as well. So that's a double message, right? For some of you, it might be some kind of outdoors career. But I think for a lot of you as well, pile number 1, it's even if you're feeling like you're going to be feeling the most at your peak in your career, you're going to be feeling the most secure in your job and in your financial situation and all of it. You're going to be feeling the best in it when you find yourself grounded, when you're down to earth in it, right? So taking a practical approach to whatever's going on in your job right now, that's the biggest piece of advice, right? Is like really taking a practical understanding of things. So what does that mean? That can mean a lot of different things, but if you're in a situation in your job right now where there's a lot of these theoretical ideas, right? Maybe you are trying to build a business, right? Or in your job, it's asking you to do a lot of big picture thinking, right? And this is asking you to come back down to earth a little bit more. So maybe you've been doing a little bit too much of the planning stages, or you have, you know, maybe you have really big dreams and big goals as aspirational things that you're trying to get into, right? If you're trying to build a project or something like that, and this is giving you the advice to come back into a grounded sense of what's going on. What can you do right here, right now? Yes, okay, you have these big picture ideas for the future, and that is really important, and that's really good that you have those for yourself. But what are some things you can do in the short term that can help you along in that direction, right? What are some things you can do right here, right now that are going to help build you there, right? There's a series of small steps, one step at a time, that are going to bring you into the places that you want to go for your job, for your career, for your business, for whatever it is you're trying to build and or work on, or if you're climbing a ladder somewhere, any of it, take it as it resonates. But the biggest thing is going to be one step at a time. How can you focus on bringing it back into the day to day, so that you feel satisfied, right? Because it's hard to feel satisfied when you have these big giant aspirations and ideas if you're not seeing them go, getting closer to where you're trying to go. If all you're thinking about is this long-term goal, because it's going to be a series of short-term goals that are going to get you there. So how can you think about the short term? How can you think about the small things that you're building? How can you think about the little things that you're working on that are bringing you to that? And then when you focus on those small little things, the more that you do that, the more you're going to feel more satisfied because you're getting a bunch of small wins. And the more small wins that you have, wow, I'm just seeing a bee. Oh, wow, that's funny. A bee was blowing into my window right there. So bee symbolism is all about, worker bees, right? Being a worker bee, right? Keep on working, keep on working. The more that you can, the way that you can prevent feeling burnt out is by taking it one small step at a time, because those small wins, like I was saying, they're really important, right? When you have these small wins, you feel satisfied, and it allows you to keep going forward, because then you'll feel you feel as though you've achieved something, right? And so then you're not going to get burnt out as much because you feel like you're making progress. Whereas if you don't have these small term goals and you don't have these small wins, and you only have this big giant long term thing in your mind, it's going to be harder and harder to feel satisfied, that you're getting anywhere, because that big giant long term goal is going to take a lot of time. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take a ton of time. And so I'm just feeling this image of the fact that you're running a marathon in this. You're not sprinting. So don't go into this thinking that you're sprinting to the finish line, because you're running a marathon, and a marathon takes endurance and it takes time. So where can you come back into a grounded sense of this short-term achievement, where you're achieving something in the short term, right? Wow, that was a lot of channeling. Let's look at some cards here. um, this comes from the 1JJ Swiss deck. I'm just going to lay down all these tarot cards, and then we'll get into more messages. You have the Five of Cups. Okay, that makes sense. Seven of Swords. Oh, interesting. Justice. The Knight of Wands. Okay. Eight of Cups. The High Priestess, Junon, in this deck. And the Ace of Wands. Okay, so double Wands energy here. So you have the Knight of Wands, and to me, whenever I read tarot, I use the Knights as what is the movement and the action happening in the reading. So where are things moving? What the energy that's present in this reading? What is its category? And so if it's in the Wands element, it's in the element of fire. It's in action. It's in inspired action. It's passion, drive. So this really is saying, that this journey about your career is all about your inspirations, right? This is about bringing in your inspirations into reality. With the Ace of Wands, it's like you're in that journey of the Wands. You really are in an opportunity at this point to bring in whatever it is in your life that is inspiring you, right? To create your dreams into reality. And I think that that's a journey you've been on, right? And so, with the High Priestess here, it's a very intuitive connection that you have. So, I think that for some of you, this might be an intuitive business that you're working on. It doesn't have to be, obviously. Take it as it resonates. But for a lot of you, it's very intuitively guided. In how to move forward. And so, like I was saying, I do feel a little bit of energy that for a lot of you here, or many of you, there is this idea that there's a bit of a stuck energy, and not necessarily knowing everything to move forward, right? Maybe you've been working on something for a long time, and maybe you hit that burnout, because I was talking about that. I was channeling that, needing to have these small wins. And so you're in this moment of coming back into yourself, coming back into this grounded energy into the earth in order to get the bigger picture again, right? And to get a better understanding on where you're going. With the High Priestess, it's like there's all of this intuitive information that's present and available to you. It's just that you have to slow down enough to hear it. So there's a bit of a tuning in to your own inner voice here, instead of maybe you've been taking a lot of action, and it hasn't necessarily been leading to where you want to go because of whatever reason. And so there's a sense of taking a quick step back here with the Five of Cups. I feel like maybe you've had a certain level of loss, where you've been working really hard to make something happen and things aren't quite working out the way that you expected. And take this, this doesn't have to be something that happened recently. This could have happened in the past, right? This could be energy that you're getting over. But I do feel like there was a sense of not reaching where you wanted to go. And so feeling a bit disappointed about that. The thing is, and maybe having some difficulties with other people in that, with the Seven of Swords next to it. It's like maybe you had all of these ideas and dreams and goals, and you were working really hard on bringing them into the world, but you ran into situations outside of your control with other people that left it into a place where it broke down. It wasn't going to work, and maybe there was some deceptive energy around you, or there were just situations on the external that led to it not happening, and so it led you to question yourself a little bit here. I'm feeling, and it left you to ask, is this right? Is this what's good for me? But with the Justice here, that talks about balance, and it talks about getting what's right for you. And there's this feeling of that there's this idea that I've heard a lot in spiritual YouTube, that I resonate with a lot. It's this idea that those things that are meant for you will never they will find you. What's meant for you in life will find you. You just have to trust it, right? So there's this sense of if you've put in a lot of energy into one place and it didn't work out the way that you expected, that energy isn't gone. It's going to be reciprocated and come back to you in a different form. And so, I think that if you went through this kind of loss period, it's forcing you to slow down and take a look at yourself and take a look at your life and your situation and what's happening around you, and really come into a sense of understanding on yourself more. Really, like getting the time and the space to really learn who you are and what makes you tick, and by having that period, right, it's going to show you what things to move away from. And with this Eight of Cups here, it's really this energy of moving on from situations and places and things that just aren't working anymore. And so I think that this is a moment of regrouping that you're in right now, of rebalancing yourself, of re-understanding the bigger picture, what it is you're trying to make happen, so that you can walk away from a situation. And maybe this is like walking away from a job that isn't working, or walking away from an approach, right? Maybe that's a part of it too. It's like the ultimate goal might still be the same, but maybe your approach needs to change, right? Maybe the way that you've been trying to bring this project into fruition, or this goal, or this business, this career opportunity, it hasn't been working out because there's something about the way that you've been going about it that needs to be adjusted a bit, right? So we've got more tarot here. This comes from the Wild Unknown. I'm going to read all these out. You've got the Ace of Swords, another ace. You've got the Daughter of Cups, so that's the Page of Cups in most decks. Another beginnings card. Lots of new beginnings here, so that's really great for you. Oh, great. We got the 7 of Wands. That's awesome. So that's a really nice energy coming in here. You've got the 4 of Pentacles, okay? You get the Daughter of Swords, which is the Page of Swords in most decks. Yeah, this is great. And then you have the Son of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands. That's perfect. You have the Knight of Wands twice in this reading. So whenever a card shows up twice in my readings, I really do take that to mean that this is the most important message from this whole reading. So, this journey that you're on for your career, right? This is all about bringing your inspirations and your inspired actions into fruition, bringing them into the world. And so that's something that you should keep an eye on, right? Is like, is this, am I really bringing my dreams into reality here, or have I compromised that? Is there something I'm not doing, right? Like, am I just being practical here? Sometimes, I mean, I did say at the beginning that this is kind of like these small steps are important, bringing it back into what you can do right here, right now, definitely. But there's a bigger sense of this too, of like really asking yourself, oh, are the steps that I'm taking bringing me towards this thing? And, with the 4 of Pentacles here, it can talk about playing it safe. So there's this aspect in this reading of, really asking yourself, am I truly working to bring the thing I want into reality, or have I made compromises to try to play it safe here? Am I truly following the path of my heart? Because sometimes the wands can talk about, what our heart wants to bring into the world, these dreams, these inspirations. Am I truly working on bringing in my inspirations into the world, or have I compromised this plan into a thing where I'm just trying to make something that, is this a get rich quick scheme? Is this this is the safe way to make something happen because that's what people have done in the past, so I'm going to follow this? Even though, maybe I'm compromising my vision, maybe I'm compromising my own, needs in order to make something that I think is what needs to happen. And so there's this new approach here, right? That might have been the old approach. And so the reason why you're kind of in a stalemate right now, and I don't see any cards to say that, but I'm just kind of feeling that. So, take it as it resonates. Not everybody's going to be in a total stalemate here, but I do feel like there's a bit of a stuck energy, and now we're needing to change our approach and move into something else. Now, you're in a new opportunity to do that, and this is a new opportunity that comes from a change of perspective, and that's a big thing here. With you getting the Daughter of Swords and the Ace of Swords, it's like for this new cycle that's coming in, because I think you're opening up into a new cycle here. It's important to take a beginner's mindset here. And it's not always, sometimes it can be really frustrating to feel like a beginner in something because we don't want to feel stupid. We don't want to feel like we don't know what we're doing. But it's okay to be a beginner, right? I've been trying to learn how to embrace the beginner within me, because we all have to start somewhere, right? And just because it's really important to remember, if you're a beginner in one aspect of life, right, or one position of life, that does not mean that you are a beginner in all aspects of life. And I think that's really, really, really important to keep in mind. And that's kind of the best way to approach, or not the, I mean, I think it's a great way, personally, I think it's a great way to approach a beginner's mindset, because it's saying like, okay, I have a deep wealth of wisdom within me from all of these other things that I've learned, and so I respect myself as a learned and wizened individual, right? And I'm not saying that just because I'm new to something that means I don't know anything, right? It just means this aspect of life, I can admit to myself, I actually don't know as much as maybe I think I do about this thing. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm ignorant here. I know a lot about a lot of things, but this is one thing I don't know as much about. So I'm going to be an open book right now. I'm going to learn, open myself up to approaching this new thing from a new perspective. I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm admitting to myself I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm admitting to the universe I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm asking the universe, and I'm asking myself, okay, I'm a blank slate. Show me how to do this thing, what is the right way to do this thing? I'm acknowledging that maybe I've done this in a way that isn't helpful, and I am acknowledging in the way that my assumptions in this avenue are actually not helping me. So I'm opening myself up to understanding things from a new perspective. And I think by opening yourself up to that, you're opening yourself up to a new beginning in happiness, right? So I think that by taking this new approach here and taking this from a new perspective and allowing yourself to think about things differently, it's opening you up to, with this Daughter of Cups here, a happier way to do things, right? So it's like the way that you're going to do this moving forward by taking this new approach is going to be one that actually, is a much more conducive to your own personal happiness approach. And I think that there'll be a bit of a surprise on your point as you go into it, just how much easier this is going to feel and be, because you're taking it one small step at a time. You don't have to do it all at once. You're not trying to sprint to create something huge in 1 minute. You're allowing it to be whatever it needs to be in this moment, and you're saying, okay, I can't bring in, maybe in 20 years I want to have a huge empire, but you know what? I'm not there right now, and you know what? That's okay. I don't need to be there right now. You know what? I'm where I am right now, and I'm gonna take this one step at a time, exactly where I am. And then the more that you do that, I think the more it'll be easier to let things flow, and you'll be going with the flow of the growth instead of trying to force growth. And that's going to bring you, in a much more aligned and easier way to make this all happen. And I think you'll be a lot happier with the whole process, and you'll feel a lot more satisfied with everything. So yeah, wow, this is a powerful reading. So I have 2 more cards. They come from the Shamanic Healing Oracle. So let's just take a look at what we got. We've got abundance. Yeah, you are on that abundance journey for sure, pile number 1. And we've got inner journey. Okay, that's funny. I called it an abundance journey, and we have journey. So yeah, exactly, right. So I think that there is, in order to really tap into this abundance energy, there's a need to go within here. And like I was saying with that High Priestess, I think the biggest thing, all of this whole new approach and new beginning, it's going to come into you naturally, right? It's coming from spirit, right? It's coming from your intuition. There is assistance and guidance from the other side here. Remember, I was pointing out that butterfly at the very beginning of the reading. You have a spirit guide present with you here. Take it as it resonates. It could just be, the embodiment of the universe on the spiritual plane is visiting you, or however you want to conceive of this. But there's inspired action here. There's there are ideas that will come to you in silence by taking the time out to really go within, right? So I really do think, some meditation in nature, going out and taking some walks, taking a break and just going outside. By doing that, I think that you're going to start to see an easier way to move forward. There's going to be more of an understanding on how to approach this. There's going to be a re-inspiration, a reconnection into your heart. And then the ultimate outcome here is the 7 of Wands, which is breaking free from it, right? It's still saying that you're in the struggle, but it's like coming out of the struggle. So there's like this energy of coming free from this stuck energy, I'm feeling like breaking free from the things that have been keeping you back, and really moving into something brighter and newer and more in the places that you want to be. Starting to feel that growth, starting to feel like you're making headway in this thing, because you're finally be more aligned with it, right? And I think you'll be able to feel better about the small wins, and more like you're actually making this thing happen. So anyway, pile number 1, I'm going to leave you there. That was a really powerful reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think either way. I love hearing from everybody. If you would like a private reading with me, they are still discounted on my website. You can find that information at www.junodrome.com. And thank you so much for tuning in. I don't know if I just said this, but if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. It really does help me out. Thanks to all of the recent subscribers. It's really amazing and incredible to watch this channel grow. So thank you so much for all your help in making that happen. And I will see you next round. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. Hi there, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So, this is going to be your reading for what are the career messages needed for you. What are some hints, some suggestions, some advice, some aspects for your career, for your job, for your project, for your business, for the way that you're making money, for your side hustle, for whatever. Take it as it resonates. Um, you'll hopefully get some important messages for you. So we've got a bunch of cards here, some tarot, some oracle, and we'll get into all of that in a minute. The first thing here is you chose the pile with this tent here, tent and trees, camping outside, living on the road, moving on, travel, taking a break, vacation. Yeah, it says sleep under the stars. Sleeping on it. Maybe there's a bit of a sleeping on it energy. Maybe you're trying to make something happen, or you're asking about certain situation that you're in, and there's a need to rest, to dream, to sleep on it. Maybe dream more, opening your dreams to where you are. So we're going to look at some tarot and we'll get a better picture on what this is about. But first, here's another oracle card first. This comes from the Forest Fae oracle deck, and it is the Mandragora Mother. Find secrets hidden in the brambles. So there's definitely this sort of out in the wilderness kind of an element to this reading so far. From the cards that we've had, there really is some outdoors wilderness energy. So, if you are interested in some kind of outdoor sort of a situation, this might be a sign for you. It doesn't have to be. Obviously, take it as you're feeling, but there really is finding the hidden aspect of things. Sometimes we camp out in the woods and it's sort of looking like a hidden sort of a thing. So it's almost like I'm getting the message of sort of keeping your ideas close, right? For now. Yeah, there's a couple of messages coming in. The first one is this need to you know, every single one of your ideas doesn't have to be shared with everyone else, right? Because sometimes people's um, negative thoughts and their own hang-ups and stuff, that we can pick up on that, when we talk to somebody about a project or an idea or a business or something, and that can start to feel discouraging if you're not getting, um, the kind of response that maybe subconsciously you're trying to get from people, for instance. So I'm just getting the message at the beginning of this is not everything, you don't need to tell everyone everything that you're doing, right? Sometimes it's important to keep things a little bit hidden, so then later on you can come out with what you're doing when it's a little bit more solid. That's just one message. Another message for that, though, is that maybe you're feeling as though you don't fully understand everything that you're trying to make happen right now, right? Maybe you don't really know exactly everything that you want in a career or something. You just know that you're not in the right place right now, or you just know that you're not quite happy with the where things are. And so there's this little bit of a message on needing to take some time out to go within to try to figure this out more. So we're going to dive into the tarot, and that's going to give us a real good understanding on what this reading is about. I picked a bunch of tarot cards, so excuse me. I'm going to read all of them first, and then after that, we'll get into some interpretation. So we have the Two of Cups. Interesting. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, this is great. We've got the Page of Cups. Got the Nine of Cups. We've got the Nine of Pentacles. Wow. And we have the Emperor. This is a very incredible reading. Okay, so I do think you are on a trajectory here. You may have a little bit of resonance with pile number 1. I was feeling that before. So if you felt drawn to both, you might get some extra messages there, but these are different readings. What I'm seeing for you, pile number 2, is that you're entering into a period of success, and that's huge. But it's coming. It might not be. It might not be something that happens right away. And so there's a little bit of an element of patience here, of planning, of building your empire here with this Emperor card. Like I was saying kind of before, in not needing to share everything with everyone, I do feel as though you might be sort of in the beginning stages of things still. I mean, you might have. I feel like you probably put in a significant amount of work somewhere, and you are going to be entering into success here. Um, Definitely a feeling that. But it's going to come, it might come after a bit of time, because I do feel, with this Page of Cups, I do feel like you're still kind of at the beginning of opening yourself up to your heart, right? This is a new journey towards your own self-fulfillment. And so, remember, it's not just about the destination in life, it's also about the journey. And I do feel like you're on a journey here. In whatever this career aspect is, you may still be at the beginning stages of certain elements, but I do feel as though you have a pretty good outlook on where you want to go, and you are going to be deeply successful in this. With the Wheel of Fortune, you definitely, fortune is on your side in this endeavor. And that's a really big and beautiful thing. So with the Two of Cups here, I do feel as though I'm relating this into really uniting with your own heart and really uniting with your own inner being, and that whatever it is that you're building, the reason why it's going to be so successful, whatever this career or project or idea or business or whatever this is that you have in mind in this reading, with the Two of Cups here, the reason why it's going to be successful is because it's totally aligned with your own self, right? Your own inner being. You're following your heart. You're following your passion. You're following your own happiness, right? You're building your own happiness. With the Emperor here, you're building it into your life. You're taking the concrete steps and actions to make this a reality. This isn't just an idea, although it is an idea. I think you have to bring it into fruition. But you're willing to do that work, is what I'm feeling with the Emperor here. Excuse me. I'm having some throat chakra stuff. So there's an aspect of needing to speak your own truth here as well. You know, don't go with don't where your success comes from is by breaking off on your own thing, doing it your own way, going about this in your own direction. Don't try to copy somebody else's success. Don't try to, this successful project and business that you're building. It's like the kind of thing that only you can do, right? It comes from you as your own unique being, and somebody else might do something similar, but it'll never be what you can bring to this thing. And that's something that is really important for you to keep in mind in this, is that, you know, don't try to just kind of blanket copy something that's been successful for other people. Try to create a thing that's going to be big for you. And the more that you follow your own intuition and your own individuality and your own uniqueness, if this career, business venture, project, whatever, is born from your own unique being, then it can only be successful. And there's a little bit of this is repeated a little bit with the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, these two together. I'm really happy they showed up together in this reading, because the Nine of Pentacles is all about being in your own private garden. And it's a level of material and earthly abundance that's pentultimate. It's not quite the Ten of Pentacles, but it's very close. It's the 9, and so it's still pretty much everything you could ask for. But the thing about it is, it's normally as a person who's depicted alone, and so there's this aspect of, like I was saying, breaking off on your own. I think this might be an individual business that you have, and not necessarily a team project, or at least at the beginning, or you're the head of this project, or it's a you thing. because it's allowing you the freedom to do this on your own terms in your own way, and horn for confirmation. So this is a thing that, you're going to be successful. You're bringing this in with a certain level of success by fully embracing your own self, um, and doing it your way. Doing it the way that you need it to be. Not feeling afraid of, oh, if I do this way, am I going to be alone in it? Maybe you'll be alone in it, but you'll be able to bring in that success because you'll have control. With the Emperor as well in there, you'll have it. It's all in your own control. It's all in your own. It's in your hands, and so you hold the cards in this, and so the more that you continue along that path, I think that it'll bring you a tremendous level of satisfaction with that Nine of Cups here. So it's feeling fulfilled and feeling proud of yourself for accomplishing this material success. So, like I said, this is a deeply successful venture that you're planning and setting into motion here. With fortune on your side, it has to come from within here. It has to come from a sense of alignment. It has to come from a sense of fulfillment. If cut corners or do it in a way where you say, oh, well, Joe Schmo was able to make $10 million by doing this and that, so maybe I'll just try this and that instead of what I feel I need. If you go that route, it's not going to work out. So really make sure that you are keeping your own needs in mind, keeping your own identity in mind. Remembering this is a project that comes from your own soul, and so it's something that you're putting yourself into. And if you're willing to do that, you'll see tremendous results in this. So we have more tarot cards. These come from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. We've got the Five of Cups. Interesting. Temperance. Okay, yep, those are mirroring each other. This is great. We've got the Magician. Awesome card to come out in this. And we've got the Four of Wands. Great. Okay, so there's a little bit of either backstory or where you've come from, or maybe where you're in right now. There's some more elements from pile number one coming into this again. So like I said, if you did feel a little bit drawn to that one too, there may be some messages there. What's interesting about this is, this is the grief card here, the Five of Cups, and it can talk about loss. It can talk about, feeling like you haven't made things in a certain way. So there might be, you may have gone a certain level in trying to make something happen in the past and it not worked out, right? Or you may have attempted to create something. You may be, like I was saying before, you may have been working on this venture for a long time, even if maybe this is a new start energy that you're in, and not necessarily a new beginning fully. Because I feel like you've tried things in the past and they haven't worked out, right? And there's been a certain level of grief in that. But, I think either you've learned this already, or this is the new perspective that's coming in here to help you usher in this new beginning. It's quite possible that these setbacks have shown you how to look at things from a new perspective, right? Because not everything is perfect all the time, and that's important to remember. Not everything is always going to work out. It's just, if we live from a perspective of, I know how to roll with the punches. Temperance card here. I can make lemonade out of any lemon that life throws at me. If you tackle life from that perspective, it's okay if things don't work out. It's okay if you're thrown a punch, because you'll know how to roll with it. You'll know how to move. You'll know how to adapt. You'll know how to change and create something different. And that will be your ultimate success. And with the Magician card there as well, I think that's important to remember. This might be advice for moving forward as well. Even if you are deeply fortunate, even if this is guaranteed success, just because that's the case, that doesn't mean you won't meet setbacks moving forward. And so, it's important to remember any challenge that you face moving forward, it's just an opportunity to take things differently. If you look at every challenge, every setback as an opportunity to change your mind, as an opportunity to view things from a new perspective, as an opportunity to create a new understanding, you'll be able to create a stronger foundation for yourself and build something even more successful than be. And it's important for things, and especially businesses or careers, to be tested because, it proves that you've built a strong foundation, right? You don't want to build a house of cards that can blow over at the first hint of adversity, because that's not a solid situation. And so with the Magician here, it is telling you to embrace that magician aspect within. And with the Four of Wands here, that's the homecoming card. So the more that you're able to do that, and the more, in any situation, if you're able to come home to yourself and come back into it, if this is coming from your soul, right, this is this aligned thing coming from your heart, coming from what you know deep down you want to bring into the world. By creating a business and a career from that place of passion, that place of understanding of self, that's a deeply powerful foundation, because that's a foundation with this homecoming card that you can always fall back on. So any kind of challenge that you might face in the future, if you're coming from this aligned place, even if you meet setbacks, you can always come home to yourself and to the fact that that this is coming from your heart. This is coming from what you need to do, what you need, what you feel deep down you want to bring into the world, what you want to create. And so the more that you can create this career and this business and this project or this whatever, from that heart aligned place, even if you meet setbacks in the future, and I do think that this is, a very aligned situation. Like I said, I think you're going to meet tremendous success in this. Even if you meet any kind of adversity, you can remember, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I know in my heart this is what I need to bring into the world, and I'm ready and willing and open to create any kind of situation I need for myself to bring it into reality, right? So, yeah, that's what I'm getting from this. So we have 2 oracle cards to finish off the reading here. They both come from the Shamanic Healing Oracle. First one is growth, yeah, and I feel like you're entering into a deep period of growth here and maturity in this, which is great. Knowledge of self. This is coming from a deep understanding of yourself and a deep knowledge of what you want, what your wants and needs are, and that you should feel proud of that. Like I said, even if this is a new start for you, or this is a new beginning, or you're really just starting a venture, there's a certain level of understanding coming through this reading where I do feel like you know yourself very well at this point, and you know what your needs are, you know what your wants are, and even if you had to go through countless situations in your past where you were doing things that you didn't like, those things taught you what you do like, right? Sometimes going down pathways that aren't meant for us teach us how to fully see and understand the paths that are meant for us. And sometimes the only way to learn and understand and know those things is to go through setbacks, is to go through things that don't work out in the past. And so I feel like you've already done a lot of that work, and now you're here in this very mature period of growth, as you build this business and this venture. There's a level of self-satisfaction, with that Nine of Cups again, that's important here. So really make sure that you're honoring yourself in this, and you're giving yourself credit where credit is due. You've created a tremendous thing for yourself, even if you're only at the beginning of it. You've just getting to this point is incredibly important to give yourself credit for. The final card is Retreat. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. We have Retreat coming in here to just come back to this tent, So maybe there is a little bit of an aspect here of needing a little bit of time to retreat to yourself, and with that homecoming card, like I was saying too, maybe you're in a setback period right now, and this is just a reminder to come back home to why you're doing this in the first place, right? Feel free to take a break, take a vacation. You might need to go sleep in the stars a little bit, go outside, have some retreating back into the self aspect to really remember why you're in this, remember why you're here, remember, how to feel aligned, and all of that. So yeah, anyway, pile number 1, I'm going to leave you there. Sorry, pile number 2. Yeah, check out pile number 1 if you're feeling it. It's different but similar. But yeah, anyway, pile number 2, that was my reading for you. I hope that it resonates. Let me know in the comments what you think either way. I love hearing from everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like a private reading from me, they are still available at a discounted price on my website. You can find that at www.junodrome.com. And that's it for me. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks again for tuning in. Bye. Hi friends, welcome back to another Pick a Card Tarot reading. My name is JP and this is Junodrome Tarot. Today we're going to be doing messages on your career. What are some career advice, messages, guidance for your business, your job, your career, your project? Take it as it resonates for you. This is going to be advice. So we're going to dive right into it here. I've got a bunch of tarot and some oracle cards. First card that comes up is this one. You chose the pile with the binoculars here, and it says see the world. Oh, wow. Okay, so that's powerful. So there might be, travel might have something to do with your career aspirations, your business, journeying, going somewhere different. Maybe there's a move. Possibly there might be a need to change location for this job, or this might need to be a job that allows travel, or maybe you have a job that this makes sense in. We'll read some more cards here, but definitely some important aspect of travel. Maybe travel in general is a part of your career aspirations. Oh wow! First card. These both come from the Forest Fae Oracle deck. We have Away We Fly, Take the Cloud Roads, Delight in Your Imagination. So definitely some imagination imagery here, but also like actual flight, like flying to a new place, airplane, air travel. There's a lot of travel in this. Maybe you want to be a travel blogger, or maybe you are a photographer, or who knows, maybe you just have a remote job and you can travel, or this is a part of it. Like, I think that building in permanent travel into your life, I think is an important aspect. There are things you need to see. There are places you need to go for your own, maybe spiritual, personal journey, that, are going to help you in your career journey as well. That there's this part of like, of going off and being in new places and meeting new people that's deeply important to the work that will ultimately become this business that you're working on, or this project, or whatever. So this is really, really powerful. If this isn't resonating with you, obviously choose a different pile. But I do feel like I'm going to go all in on this traveling imagery here, that travel is such an important aspect for your life. And so whatever business you're making, whatever ideas you're having, whatever projects you're working on, I think that working travel into this is going to be hugely pivotal in changing the way things work. I'm looking at this butterfly here. So butterflies to me are messages from the guides, from your angels, from your spirit team, just coming in to say, hey, we're here. So yeah, there's a big aspect of flight in general. Maybe you want to be a flight attendant, or you want to work for an airline or something, or you've got some kind of flying, traveling, moving. And of course this was talking about the imagination as well. So maybe maybe you're not necessarily, maybe travel is secondary, right? So it's like maybe you're a creative, and you're a writer, or you're an artist, or you're a painter, or you're a drawer. You do something where actually travel might help you, right? Maybe traveling will inspire you to think about your storylines differently, and maybe you'll meet people on your journey that will inspire you to write these new characters and create these new ideas that you need to have the travel as the inspirational, pivotal push in that direction. Wow. Oh, this is great. I like this reading a lot. I think this one might be for me, but it's definitely for you, whoever you tuned into, if you're feeling it. We have the Green Witch. Connect to the spirits and energy of your local landscape. Seek enchantment. Okay, so that's interesting, right? Because we have all this go off, and then we have local landscape. So I think actually this is interesting. I think that regardless of what your career is, the reason why travel is so important in this is because there are spirits of the land that you're going to meet and encounter in traveling, because there are the local indigenous spirits everywhere and in every part of the world that we've worked with as people, and the land has grown into. These are elementals. They're spirit beings. They're however you want to conceive of things. Every particular location on earth has their own energy and their own dynamic, and so there's something about actually traveling to these places that that you might interact with on a subconscious level, on a spiritual level, that you need that spiritual interactive connection, that will put you in alignment with this career growth. And so a part of this traveling is like it's part of this growth. And so, you might be in a place, I'm going to look into the cards here in a minute, but you might be in a place where you feel like, oh, I can't travel, like I have to do all this work, and I can travel later, but I have to do all this work first to try to build myself, and then maybe I can travel. But I think, if that's what you're thinking, I think actually the opposite is the case here, where it's like, actually, no, you're not going to be able to get all these things done that you're imagining that you want to build into your life, because you don't have all the tools yet, right? That there's some spiritual tools, there's non-physical gifts to be given to you, that you need to actually go into these different parts of the world and explore and open up your horizons and your expansions into actually experiencing and finding these things. And that by doing so, then you open up these aspects to yourself, that are larger, and it actually, the journeying itself is going to help bring you into alignment with these things. And then maybe you felt stuck for a while, and actually maybe you've been working on a business or a project or a venture or a career, and you're at a pause moment, and you're like, well, I have all these ideas and I'm working on it, but I feel really kind of stuck and in a slump. And the reason is because that there's a physicality to that stuckness, right? Like there's actually, like, travel is needed here, in order to really unstuck yourself. You have to literally unstuck your location and journey off and travel and see new things and meet new people and experience new cultures and try new foods, and all of that. Like that, there's this big opening towards doing all of this, and that by doing that, you open up this ability to create a new sense of whatever, and then, like, you can actually be able to there'll be inspirations along this journey that make you realize what your next career steps really truly are. And so that's big. Wow. Let's look at some tarot. I got a bunch of tarot cards and then a couple more oracles. So first up, we have 4 cards from the 1JJ Swiss deck. We've got Jupiter, which is the Hierophant in most decks. We have the 10 of Pentacles. All right, ultimate abundance is coming to you. That's you couldn't ask for a better card in a career reading, let me tell you. We've got the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, yep. And we got the Queen of Cups. Interesting. So I feel like on this journey towards ultimate abundance here, right, the way that you get there is by balancing these seemingly opposite forces that are being represented by the Jupiter card and by the Queen of Cups. So it's like, on the one hand, you do need to take, like, there are practical steps that obviously need to happen in order to build any business, right? You need repetition, you need positive routines, you need inspired action, you need to take steps every day, you need to work on things, right? So there's that practical element on the one hand, but on the other hand, you need to be aligned with your heart here with the Queen of Cups. And actually, if you don't feel inspired and you don't feel like you're connected with your own inner love of life and love of self, it's going to be so hard to be able to do these practical things, because it's just going to feel like chores. It's just going to feel like work, and you're not going to be able to, you're not going to feel the fuel to motivate you through the situation. And so there's just this big message in this, and I think that's why travel's coming in. It's like, even if traveling isn't a part of this business that you're trying to build or this career idea, like, even if it's not directly related, I feel like your heart, in your heart of hearts, like, you're dreaming of seeing new things and experiencing new places and new cultures and things. And I think that there's a deep importance to follow that, because by doing that, then you actually open yourself up to being able to do this other work, because you're in a more aligned, inspired, and heartfelt place. And so, yeah, so I think that there's an interesting dichotomy in this, where it's like, you might be too stuck in the Hierophant energy right now, just trying to tried and true, knowing like, well, I have to do these things because this needs to happen. But maybe you're not feeling successful in that, or it's like, you might be reaching a slog or a little bit of burnout energy potentially. And the reason why that's happening is because you're not opening your soul to the larger aspects of life that are trying to come in. And so, just remembering that, like, you don't have to give up that practicality of making things happen in order to follow your heart, right? That these things can be in alignment with each other. You can have a balance between these two forces. You can go off and chase these dream aspirational things, and you can also take the steps necessary to create these things into the world. And in fact, by doing both, by being in perfect alignment with both of these forces, then you're able to bring in that Pentacles energy, because you have the stamina to go the long run on these projects, because they're coming from that place of alignment. They're coming from that place of feeling connected. They're coming from that place of saying, you know what, yes, I see that this is what I need for myself, and I'm able to do this kind of work. And like, take that as it resonates, right? Maybe, like I was saying, maybe the job itself isn't something that is like totally in alignment with you, but the traveling aspect might bring it into more alignment, right? So what do I mean by that? Like, maybe finding some kind of work remote job is necessary for you, and then you'll be able to do that from anywhere. And then if you have a remote job, you can take it someplace amazing, and you can do this travel and fill up your soul by doing this travel, while on the side be working this job that pays the bills, right? So take it as it resonates. Obviously, that's not going to be for everybody, but like, there could be some kind of connection like that, where it's like, oh, I'm now freeing myself. Like, yeah, maybe I'm still working this job that doesn't feel like it's in alignment with me, but I've been able to put the rest of my life into a position where the job is just a job and it doesn't matter, because all the rest of my life is building towards this sense of self-fulfillment, right? So take it as it resonates. Some people are going to be, you're going to find an interconnection between these two things, where it's like, oh, actually, no, this career alignment for me is such a thing where like, the job itself is filling my heart and my soul, but I still need to be taking it on the road. I need to be taking it to different places. I need to be moving, because as much as I try to build this business or work on this project or create this venture, I'm feeling this burnt out stuckness, because I'm physically stuck to one location, and I'm just dreaming of going off into different places, right? So take it as it resonates. It could be different things for different people here. Next up, we have 4 cards from the Wild Unknown Tarot. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. All right. Okay, cool. That's great. Lots of pentacles, which is, like I was saying before, you want that in a in a career reading. It's great. We got the 9 of Cups. Yeah, we do. Okay. We got the Ace of Wands. Okay, yep. So definitely some repeat messages here, but that's always great when we have confirmation of what we've already said. And we've got the Empress. Yes. Okay. So with the 8 of Pentacles here, a couple messages. I think that you've already put in a lot of work towards certain places, certain areas, right? So don't feel like you're starting from square one. I don't think you are. I think you've been building something for a long time, right? I think you've been working really hard on something. I think you've been putting a lot of energy into something, and you're gonna get there, right? It's just a matter of, if you feel stuck in this moment, there's a little bit of needing to shake things up for sure. I'm feeling that, like, to realign you back into your heart space, to realign you back into remembering why you're doing it in the first place. But with that with that 8 of Pentacles there, it's like, you do have to trust, like, you've already built the web, right? You built the web, you're a spider here, and you're just waiting for these flies to land in your web to catch them. So, the spider builds the web to catch the flies, right? So you do need to build that infrastructure into your life. And I think that maybe you've done that. And so now it's sort of like, okay, I've come up with the basics here. I have my plan. I have my aspirations. I've got my vision board or whatever, or, I've got whatever. I have the basic outline of what I need to be comfortable in life. I know these needs. What do I need in order to build this into the basics of it, right? And so now you're like, okay, now how do I take this web on the road, right? Okay, I have my web. I have the work that I've already put in towards setting myself up for how to do this certain thing. So now it's just a matter of, okay, how do I make this web mobile? This web can be moved. How do I build in these other adventurous things into my life? Because I need adventure. My soul is craving adventure. How do I build that into this plan of mine? And, you know, with the Ace of Wands here, okay, I have this strong foundation. How do I build a new beginning towards inspirations? I'm not feeling as inspired as I used to be. I'm not feeling as lit up by my passions as I used to be because I'm stuck in this practical day-to-day thing. How do I make my day-to-day more closely aligned to these inspirational things while still maintaining this web of an infrastructure that I've built in order to catch these flies, right? And so I think that it's that balance here for you is learning how to do that and opening yourself up to the Empress energy, which is like being in this place of allowing things to come to you instead of feeling so forced to get out there and make things happen, right? That there's a certain level of being open to the universe and creating this sort of dreamlike, because we had imagination here as well, dreamlike inspirations and allowing those dreams and to come in. There's a bit of space that's needed here. So I do think that there's a bit of adventure and wandering and journeying and traveling and doing new things and seeing new places and opening yourself up to that's needed here. And I think the more that you are able to do that kind of a thing, the more you're going to be totally aligned with feeling satisfied with yourself. And that's where this Nine of Cups comes in. It's self-satisfaction, feeling proud of yourself, feeling like you've achieved something, feeling content in your life and confident that you're able to provide your emotional and physical needs. And that they don't have to be at odds with one another too. And I think that's a big thing. A lot of times in life, especially in our culture, the way that exists, we feel like we have to sacrifice our happiness for stability and for money and monetary value. But in fact, those two can actually build off of each other. And in fact, by following your passions and your drives and your inspirations, it can provide a feedback loop to create even more abundance, right? It can create even more of a sense of fulfillment, create even more of a sense of stability even, because you're building this all in together. So anyway, that's my main reading for you. Let's see what the Shamanic Healing Oracle has to say. We have 2 cards from this Oracle deck. The first one is Omens. Okay, so following the signs and symbols, that's a big thing here. And also, this is a hawk. So the hawk spirit in spirituality tends to remind us that to see things from the big picture, right? A lot of times when we're stuck on the ground, think about animals that can't fly. They're stuck in the forest and all they can see is their immediate surroundings. And, so you're just seeing this small little picture. And it's so easy in our day-to-day lives to get stuck in the small picture of things, to just see our immediate surroundings and just see, our problems that we're having right now, what's happening in the small world. And we can get really pinpointed in our vision, which is funny because you had this binoculars, it's like we have the blinders on and we can only see this small little section of life. The hawk spirit reminds you that you have wings, right? So the hawk, whenever the hawk is stuck in that, the hawk can just be like, okay, I'm done with this. And they take off and they start flying into the sky. And they go so high that, all of those problems that seem so big on the ground, when they look down at them, they're just like little tiny ants running back and forth, right? And you see this whole vast, huge, amazing landscape. And so there's a little bit of needing to get this bigger perspective in. And I think that's a part of where this travel comes from. Opening you up to the larger world, opening you up to this much, much, much more massive perspective instead of this tiny little pinpointed vision that I think is getting in the way of you being able to see the infinite possibility that's truly available to you. And then the other thing about the omens is it's about signs and symbols. And so there's like signs and symbols of things all around you all the time. So pay attention to those synchronicities. Pay attention to like, oh, a bird keeps flying into my window. What does this bird mean? You know, and like, like whatever the sign is for you, you know, oh, I keep seeing white cars driving past me. What is that? You know, like any of these are signs and symbols and representations from the universe trying to come to you to say things. So paying attention to those little things, you know, you can start to see messages for you everywhere, and those can be important, you know, to really understand things from a new perspective. Next card. Honoring your energy. Yeah. So really, you know, meeting yourself where you are is important in this as well. You know, honoring your energy. So if you need to more adventure, you know, maybe it's time to do something different. You know, if you're feeling like you're really stuck, you know, maybe it's time to shake things up. If you're feeling like, you know, things aren't working out in the short term where you are, maybe that means regrouping. Maybe that means finding a new way to do things. Maybe that means understanding things differently. You know, if you're feeling tired, maybe that means you need to sleep, right? If you're feeling like, oh, I don't know what I can do right now, maybe that means, you know, it's time to take a break, regroup later, you know. So just be open to that. Be open to allowing things to shift and to change and to work on a different thing. So just meeting yourself where you are in that process is so important, because you're only where you are, right? Like you can't escape where you are, but if you embrace where you are, then you can move with yourself, right? Um, but you can't do that if you're pretending like you're not where you actually are, right? So meeting yourself where you are is really important. Um, Anyway, pile number 3, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that reading resonated. Let me know what you think in the comments either way. I love hearing from everybody. If you would like a private reading with me, they are still discounted on my website. You can find that information at www.junodrome.com. I have a couple of different options there. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you so much to all of the recent subscribers. I'm honored to have you with me on this journey, and I'm excited to bring you more messages in the future. So I will see you in the next reading, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Catch you later. Bye. Hi there, pile number 4. Welcome to your reading. So this is going to be your reading on career messages. What are some career messages and advice for you in this moment? What are some career needed messages for pile number 4? So we're starting with this card here. And we've got a bunch of oracles and a bunch of tarot, so we'll get into those in a minute, but we'll start with this one here. This is, you've got the sky and wheat fields, so a bit of a farming energy, which can talk about like growth, right? So I think that maybe you've been working on this for a long time. I think that you have an established career potentially, or you've established a business, a venture, an idea, a project. Take it as it resonates for you. There's a quote on the back. Chase the sunset. Interesting. Sunset energy can be relaxing, right? On the beach at the sunset. I don't know. We'll keep looking at things. We've got one oracle card here from the Forest Fae deck, and we have She of the Mossy Bray. Not all things are as they seem. Trust in your intuition. Okay, interesting. So, is there a situation in your life about your career that's ending right now, pile number 4? The reason why I'm getting that is because sunsets, you know, it's the sun going down. It's the end of the end of a thing, the end of an era, maybe, in a job, in a career, in an aspect of your life, and maybe you're opening up to the possibility of something new. Like I was feeling before, I think you have put in a lot of work into something. Maybe you spent years in a certain job or a certain career, and now you're kind of coming to a natural conclusion to that sort of a thing. Take it as it resonates, obviously. With this one card here, you know, trusting in your intuition, not everything is as it seems. So I think maybe whatever's going on in your job and your career, there's a certain level of you not necessarily seeing the whole picture, or maybe you have some assumptions about the situation that are actually false assumptions, that it's not everything is as it seems. And so but with trusting your, with trusting your intuition, I feel like maybe you know that not everything is as it seems. You know, there's intuitive nudges that you're getting that you don't have the whole picture here, and that's why you're sort of in a feeling of like, well, is this going on? What's going on? Is everything okay? What's going on? You know, I'm feeling a bit of that energy, as well as that endings energy. So I've got a bunch of tarot that we'll read, and then we've got a few more oracle cards. I'm going to just lay out all of these from the 1JJ Swiss deck first, and then we'll do messages. You got the tower here. Yeah, you know, I am feeling a bit of a tower moment for you in this. Interesting. Two of Wands, but there's definitely a bright future for you. Ace of Swords and a new beginning. The Empress. And the Ten of Cups. Okay, well, that's great. You know, that's great. So if you are in a tower moment right now and things are kind of crashing down, things are finishing, you know, if you're at the end of a situation, like I was saying, maybe the end of a job or the end of a career, or you've decided that you need to leave something, or there's a big shakeup in your environment, you're moving, you're doing something different. Um, you know, there might be a sense or a feeling a little bit of like, because not everything is as it seems, that you're feeling a little bit sad about it, you're feeling a little bit lost about it, you're feeling a little bit directionless about it, and that might be bringing you down a little bit. But ultimately, you know, you've got ultimate emotional fulfillment coming to you here. And we got a horn outside for confirmation. So there's true, real, deep happiness available to you in your future, upcoming happiness here. So even though things are changing, you know, remember, a lot of times the tower comes in when the universe, you know, is showing us that our lives need to change, and maybe it's the kind of situation where we had chances in the past to make changes, but for whatever reason we weren't capable, or we weren't comfortable, or we were afraid, and we didn't make those choices and those changes. And so the universe is sort of like, okay, well, these changes need to happen, for your own benefit, and this is just what needs to happen in your life now. So the universe is going to bring in that change. And so that can be the tower sometimes. And so it can kind of come out of nowhere, and it can be, you know, feel really intense. But ultimately, it's because there's actual happiness available to you here. And you have a new opportunity with the Two of Wands to plan something different, to journey off into the sunset, you know, chasing that sunset, journeying off into the sunset, you know, having your forever after is kind of coming for you right now. So it might seem scary. It might seem not like the best kind of a situation. It might seem not great, but ultimately there's this new beginning. And, you know, with the Empress here, sometimes she's depicted as being pregnant. And so she can talk about fertility. She can talk about the growth of a new idea, the growth of a new perspective, a new understanding. And so this kind of tower moment in your career, maybe this end of a job, or this end of a phase, or a change of position, or whatever it is, take it as it resonates, is coming in with actually a new beginning, as much as an ending. And that new beginning is coming from a new perspective with the Ace of Swords here. So it's a new way of looking at the world, looking at your life, looking at your situation, looking at what's going on, and changing your perspective, changing what's happening, moving into something different, by changing the way you see things. There's an opening towards a new perspective available to you through this situation, that you're encouraged to take here. So let's look at some more tarot here. We've got 4 cards now from the Wild Unknown Tarot deck. We've got the Mother of Cups, which is the Queen of Cups in most decks. You've got the Three of Wands. Okay, so more similar to the Two of Wands. They're both similar cards. This can talk about journeying as well, travel, changing things up. You've got the Nine of Pentacles. Sorry, no, this is the Seven. The Seven of Pentacles, which makes sense. Okay, putting in a ton of hard work into different areas. And then we have the Daughter of Wands, which is the Page of Wands in most decks. So another new beginnings energy, but it's like so basically what this change up is offering you, and I do feel like pile number 4, this reading is about a big change. It's offering you this opportunity to, like I was saying, start something different, but start something that's now more aligned towards your own passions and your own drives. So maybe there was really something about this current job or career or situation that really wasn't quite aligned with everything that you need for yourself. And so, this is just opening up the opportunity to find something that's more you. And it's not coming completely out of nowhere, right? Like the work that you've already put into your life and into building a career and building an understanding of yourself, that work never goes anywhere. It's not going anywhere. With that Seven of Pentacles, you put in a lot of work into a lot of areas, and so you're going to be rewarded for those, even in this new thing, right? So it's not like, even if what you were doing wasn't fully aligned with who you are, there's still skills and talents and knowledge and things that you've gained from that, that's deeply important, right? So it's not like it was all for nothing. It's just that now, as this comes to a close, you have an opening to find something that's built off of where you've been, but it's a little bit more who you are on the inside. And so there's just this opportunity open to feel and to find that. And that's great. That's a really wonderful place to be, because, there's this open horizons feeling from this reading, so even if things are shifting and ending and moving into the different aspect of things, there's still plenty of opportunity to find who you are and what you want and what life means to you. And this next phase is opening up that opportunity even more. This next job is going to be one that's a little bit more you, a little bit more who you are and what you want, and that's a beautiful thing. So, we've got 2 cards now from the Shamanic Healing Oracle. The final two cards. We've got Unlimited Possibility, right? Did I say that in this reading? I think I did. You really do have unlimited possibilities ahead of you here. And I think that that's a really important thing to remember, that, there is no one thing for you in the future. You could do anything. So don't feel like you are pigeonholed into having to choose one specific thing or be in one specific area. There may be many, many, many opportunities available to you. And so keeping an open mind and an open perspective and say, these are my needs. This is what I like. This is who I am. Universe, help me find the thing that fits and checks all of my boxes. And I think it's out there for you. Unlimited possibility. It's definitely a part of it. Something that's more who you are. Final card comes from the Shamanic Healing Oracle, and it is duality. Okay, yeah, so that's another thing too. Don't feel like you have to see the whole situation in black and white either, right? So as you open yourself up to this unlimited possibility, it's letting go of thinking one or the other, this or that. Any of those kinds of dualistic thinking, like, oh, this whole thing was really bad. It was just a terrible thing all around, but this could be good. Any of that kind of situation or thinking or aspect of things, is really kind of keep an open mind and an open heart about it, because I think that there's a lot of possibility and potential for you, and you don't want to miss that, right? And I'm not saying you're going to, obviously, but when you think of in those absolutes and those black and white thinking, sometimes it can block you off from seeing just how many choices you actually do have available to you. You might not just have the yes or no duality choices. You might have like yes and, or maybe but, or possibly however. There's many different options. So keep yourself open to all of it. Anyway, pile number 4, I'm going to leave you there. I hope that this reading was helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think of it either way. I love hearing from everybody. If you would like a private reading with me, I do have them available still at a discount on my website. You can find that information at www.junodrome.com. And if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. It really does help me out to have you subscribing and liking these videos. So thank you so much for everyone who has and is doing that. I'm so excited to see this channel grow. So thank you so much for all of your support. It really does mean a lot to me. Anyway, pile number 4, I'm going to leave you there. I will see you in the next reading, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.